Welcome back to Mr. Movie Wonder, the channel where we break down everything happening in the world of DC, so you are always ahead of the curve. And today we are doing something that DC fans have been asking for, a complete, definitive breakdown of every upcoming DC project that has been officially confirmed. Not rumors, not wishful thinking. Official projects with confirmed directors, confirmed casts, confirmed release dates, or confirmed green lights from DC Studios itself. James Gunn and Peter Safran have been building something genuinely exciting. After the rocky final years of the old DCEU, the new DC Universe, the DCU, launched with Superman in July 2025 and immediately won fans over. Creature Commandos was beloved. Peacemaker Season 2 delivered. And now the pipeline is absolutely packed. We are going to break everything down into clear categories: the 2026 DCU slate, the 2027 films, the confirmed TV shows, the animation projects, and the Elseworlds films that exist outside the main DCU continuity. Everything confirmed, everything explained. Let's get into it. Before we dive into individual projects, it is important to understand the master plan that James Gunn and Peter Safran have laid out for DC Studios. When they were hired as co-CEOs of DC Studios in late 2022, their mandate was clear: build a coherent, unified DC universe from the ground up. No more disconnected films, no more multiverse confusion. One shared universe across film, television, and animation, all connected. They called their first chapter Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. It kicked off with the animated Creature Commandos on Max in December 2024, followed by Superman in theaters in July 2025, and Peacemaker Season 2 on Max shortly after. James Gunn has confirmed a 6-year plan to bring all the Chapter 1 threads together into one culminating event, very much in the style of how Marvel built Phase 1 through Phase 3. That means every film and show being released right now is a piece of a much larger puzzle. Gunn has also confirmed the concept of DC Elseworlds, standalone DC films and shows that exist outside the main DCU continuity. Think of it like DC's version of What If. Matt Reeves' Batman films with Robert Pattinson fall under Elseworlds. Todd Phillips' Joker films are Elseworlds. These are separate but still happening. With that context in mind, let's go project by project. 2026 is DC Studios' biggest year so far. 3 major live-action DCU projects arrive within 4 months of each other: a theatrical film, a flagship HBO series, and a second theatrical film. Here is every one of them in detail. The first major DCU theatrical film of 2026 is also the one that DC fans have been most eager to see, and based on everything we know, it could be the film that firmly establishes the new DCU as something truly special. Millie Alcock, best known from House of the Dragon, plays Kara Zor-El, the Maid of Might. But James Gunn has been very clear. This is not the cheerful, optimistic Supergirl most audiences expect. This Kara was raised on a dying rock chip of Krypton, watching everyone around her die in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life, before finally arriving on Earth. That experience gives her a sharp, harder edge than her cousin Superman. The film is based on Tom King and Bilquis Evely's acclaimed 2021 comic miniseries Supergirl. Woman of Tomorrow, one of the most critically praised DC comics in recent memory. The story follows Kara on an intergalactic road trip as she protects a young girl named Ruthie, played by Eve Ridley, while facing the ruthless villain Krem of the Yellow Hills, played by Matthias Schoenaerts. And then there is Jason Momoa. After years of playing Aquaman, Momoa switches characters entirely to play Lobo, the foul-mouthed, ultra-violent, immortal intergalactic bounty hunter. Momoa as Lobo is one of the most exciting casting choices DC has made in the new era. Lobo and Supergirl together on screen is a combination fans did not know they needed, but absolutely cannot wait to see. Craig Gillespie, the director of I, Tonya and Cruella, helms the film. Anna Nogueira wrote the screenplay. Seth Rogen is rumored to voice an alien bus driver in the film, and David Krumholtz, and Emily Beecham appear as Kara's parents. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is the film that proves the new DCU has range, that it can do something far beyond the standard superhero blockbuster formula. If Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is DC's sci-fi epic of 2026, then Lanterns is its prestige television event, and the creative pedigree behind this show is extraordinary. Lanterns was created by Chris Mundy, the showrunner of Ozark, alongside Damon Lindelof, the creator of Lost and The Leftovers, and Tom King, the comic writer behind the very Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow series that inspired the film. This is not a standard superhero show. This was designed from the ground up as a prestige drama first, a superhero show second. The concept, Lanterns, is a detective mystery in the style of True Detective. Kyle Chandler, beloved from Friday Night Lights, plays Hal Jordan, a legendary Green Lantern approaching the end of his career, tasked with training a new recruit. Aaron Peer, who broke out in Netflix's Rebel Ridge, plays Jon Stewart, that new recruit. Together they are drawn into a murder investigation in the American heartland that quickly escalates into something far darker and more cosmic than either of them expected. Nathan Fillion returns as Guy Gardner, the brash, cocky Green Lantern who has appeared in Superman and Peacemaker Season 2, making him the only DCU character to appear in every single live-action project so far. Kelly MacDonald plays local Sheriff Carey, and Ulrich Thompson plays Sinestro, the rogue former Lantern, who was once Hal Jordan's mentor and closest friend. The trailer revealed in March 2026 showed a grounded, tense mystery aesthetic, far from the flashy power ring action fans might expect. But that restraint is entirely deliberate. Gunn and the creative team are building towards something cosmic, starting small, going enormous. 8 episodes, HBO quality. The creative team of Ozark meets Lost meets the Green Lanterns. Lanterns could be the best DC television show ever made. DC Studios' most tonally daring project of 2026, and arguably the most unexpected entry on the entire DCU slate. Clayface is a body horror film, let that sink in. DC's first villain-led horror film, and the creative story behind it is fascinating. It all started when director Mike Flanagan, the genius behind The Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass, and The Fall of the House of Usher, pitched DC Studios on a completely fresh take on Clayface, not the villain we know from the comics, a tragic figure, an origin story told through the lens of horror. Peter Safran compared the film's tone directly to David Cronenberg's 1986 classic The Fly. That comparison alone tells you everything you need to know. Tom Rhys-Harris, a Welsh actor rapidly rising in Hollywood, plays Matt Hogan, a handsome, promising young actor in Gotham City, whose face is violently disfigured by a gangster. Desperate and with nowhere else to turn, he approaches a fringe scientist named Dr. Caitlin Bates, played by Naomi Ackie, who runs an experimental procedure. The procedure works, but the side effects transform his body into living clay, capable of reshaping itself into anything. The monster and the man become one. Although Mike Flanagan was unable to direct due to prior commitments, James Watkins, director of The Woman in Black and the acclaimed 2024 thriller Speak No Evil, stepped in. Filming took place in Liverpool, England, from August to November 2025. The film is officially part of the main DCU continuity. This is the DCU proving it is not afraid to go dark, strange, and genuinely scary. October 23, 2026. A surprise announcement, Batman. Knightfall Pod 8 is premiering at the prestigious Annecy Film Festival in June 2026, the same week as Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This makes June 2026 the first time in the new DC Studios era that 2 DC projects arrive in the same month. The Knightfall storyline is one of the most celebrated Batman stories ever told, the arc where Bane systematically frees every villain from Arkham Asylum, exhausts Batman physically and mentally, and then breaks his back over his knee, a story of a hero pushed to his absolute limit. The animated adaptation promises to deliver the full brutality and emotional weight of the Source material. More details on cast and creative team are expected ahead of the anniversary. Premiere. 2027 is shaping up to be even bigger than 2026 for the DCU, with Superman himself returning to the big screen alongside one of DC's most iconic villains and a landmark Elseworlds project. Superman is back, and James Gunn is back in the director's chair. Man of Tomorrow is not a direct sequel to Superman in the traditional sense. Gunn has described it as the next chapter in the Superman saga, a story that expands the DCU in a massive new direction. The central concept is one of the most compelling in DC history: Superman forced to team up with his greatest enemy, Lex Luthor, to face a threat that is greater than both of them. Nicholas Hoult returns as Lex Luthor, the brilliant, calculating, deeply dangerous CEO who made such a strong impression in Superman. And the common enemy, Brainiac, one of Superman's most iconic and terrifying adversaries. The hyper-intelligent android who travels the universe, shrinking and collecting entire cities. Lars Eidinger has been cast as Brainiac. Filming is scheduled to begin in mid-April 2026 at Trilith Studios in Georgia, with locations also including Macon, Cincinnati, and the United Kingdom. David Corenswit returns as Kal-El. Rachel Brosnahan returns as Lois Lane. James Gunn has confirmed he finished writing the script in September 2025. The world already loves this Superman and Man of Tomorrow promises to take him somewhere completely new. July 9, 2027, the summer of Superman continues. The long-awaited sequel to 2022's The Batman is finally, definitively happening, and it has been worth every second of the wait. Matt Reeves' The Batman was one of the most critically acclaimed superhero films in years. A slow-burn, noir detective thriller that redefined what a Batman film could be. Robert Pattinson's brooding, obsessive, emotionally raw Bruce Wayne is widely considered one of the best portrayals of the character in cinema history. Part II has had a famously difficult development, multiple delays, an incomplete script as recently as December 2024, but Warner Bros. Discovery confirmed the film is now moving forward, with filming scheduled to begin in June 2026 for an October 1, 2027 release. Andy Serkis returns as Alfred. Colin Farrell's Penguin, who starred in his own Max series, will continue to populate the Gotham criminal underworld. The Scarecrow is rumored to appear. Reports have also circulated that Scarlett Johansson may join the cast in a significant female lead role. Importantly, the Batman films are DC Elseworlds. They exist in their own separate universe from the main DCU. Robert Pattinson's Batman will not cross over with David Corenswit's Superman. Gunn has been clear on this. These are parallel stories, separate but equally valid. James Gunn himself has read Reeves' script and said simply, "It's great." October 1, 2027, Gotham's darkest chapter continues. Creature Commandos Season 2 is officially confirmed for a 2027 release. James Gunn confirmed the timeline directly to fans after Season 1, which premiered in December 2024, was embraced by audiences and critics. The animated series, which features characters like Rick Flag SR, Nina Mazursky Dr. Phosphorus and the Bride of Frankenstein, is a tone-setter for the DCU. It connects directly to Superman and Peacemaker Season 2, and Season 2 is expected to expand the universe even further. The wait between seasons is longer than expected, more than 2 years, but given the animation production pipeline, this is not surprising. What is exciting is that Season 2 is already confirmed and in production. This is one of the most exciting recent confirmations from DC Studios. James Gunn officially confirmed that the Mr. Miracle and Big Barda series is canon, meaning it is part of the main DCU continuity and not an Elseworlds project. The show follows Scott Free, known as Mr. Miracle, the world's greatest escape artist, whose seemingly perfect life with his warrior wife, Big Barda, falls apart when their two home worlds, Apocalypse and New Genesis, go to war. If you know your DC comics, you know that Apocalypse is the domain of Darkseid, and Gunn's confirmation that this show is DCU canon strongly hints that Darkseid himself is coming to the DCU in a major way. No cast has been confirmed, no director has been announced, no release date is set. But the project is real, it is official, and it is building towards something cosmic. Skylar Gisando's Jimmy Olsen was a breakout character from Superman, endearingly awkward. Earnest and completely lovable, fans immediately wanted more of him, and DC Studios heard. A Jimmy Olsen series is officially in development. James Gunn confirmed that the working title, DC Crime, that was reported online is completely inaccurate, but that most of the reporting about the show itself is correct. Filming is targeted to begin in spring 2026 in Atlanta. The main antagonist is reportedly Gorilla Grodd, one of DC's most beloved absurd villains, which tells you exactly what tone this show is going for. It is expected to either release before or after the events of Man of Tomorrow in 2027. Gisando is a genuinely gifted comedic actor, and a Jimmy Olsen series built around his charm could be one of the DCU's most purely fun projects. Zolo Maraduna is officially staying in the DCU, and he is returning as James Reyes, the Blue Beetle in an animated series. The series is expected to follow up on the post-credits scene of the Blue Beetle film, which revealed that the original Blue Beetle, Ted Cord, is still alive and awaiting rescue. That sets up a rich story of two Blue Beetles, the legacy and the new navigating a world that has dramatically changed. A late 2027 or 2028 release window seems realistic based on animation production timelines. No director or full creative team has been confirmed yet. The animated series My Adventures with Superman continues its annual release run with Season 3 in 2026. The show has been a genuine gem, a fresh, charming, anime-influenced take on Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen in their early years. Season 3 brings Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, into the main team for the first time, making it a four-person lineup alongside Clark, Lois, and Jimmy. Lex Luthor returns fully bald. Hank Henshaw's transformation into Cyborg Superman is set to happen this season, and Superboy makes his first appearance in the series. A spin-off series, My Adventures with Green Lantern, is also in development, though no release date has been set. DC Elseworlds allows DC Studios to greenlight ambitious, standalone stories that exist outside the main DCU, freeing filmmakers to tell unique DC stories without continuity constraints. Here are the confirmed Elseworlds projects. This one is completely separate from Robert Pattinson's Batman, a brand new take directed by Andy Muschietti, the filmmaker behind It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. The film follows Batman and his son Damian Wayne, the biological son of Bruce Wayne, and Talia al Ghul, as the dynamic duo for the first time in live action since Joel Schumacher's 1997. Batman and Robin. James Gunn described it as a strange father and son story based on Grant Morrison's celebrated run on the Batman comic books. No casting has been announced. This Batman is entirely separate from Pattinson's version. Given Muschietti's track record, expectations are high. No release date is confirmed yet. An animated Robin film is officially in development, announced by James Gunn in October 2024. Dynamic duo features the first two Robins, Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, teaming up in what Gunn described as a story exploring their early friendship and their dramatically different visions. For the future, Matt Reeves' production company 6th and Idaho is producing. The animation studio is Swaybox. Using a mix of CGI and puppetry, a genuinely unique visual approach, iconic comics artist Jock is involved in the film's art direction. Arthur Mintz directs from a script by Matthew Aldrich. No release date is confirmed, but for fans of both Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, this is the film you have been waiting for. Let's zoom out and look at what James Gunn is actually building here, because when you see all of these projects together, a clear picture emerges. 2025 was the foundation year. Superman launched the DCU in theaters and immediately won hearts worldwide. Creature Commandos set the tone on streaming. Peacemaker Season 2. Expanded the universe and introduced the concept of the multiverse within the DCU through Lex Luthor's quantum unfolding chamber technology. 2026 is the expansion year. Supergirl takes us to the cosmos. Lanterns digs into Earth-based. Mystery, Clayface goes dark and horrifying. 3 completely different tones, 3 completely different genres, all connected. 2027 is the escalation year. Man of Tomorrow brings Brainiac to the DCU, one of the most powerful villains in the DC Comics mythology. That is not a small choice. Brainiac showing up means the DCU is ready to go truly cosmic, and the Batman Part II continues Reeves' noir masterwork in Elseworlds. Beyond 2027, Mr. Miracle and Big Barda points directly toward Apocalypse and Darkseid. The Jimmy Olsen series builds the street-level journalism side of Metropolis. Blue Beetle animated explores the legacy hero concept, and the Batman and Robin film gives us Damian Wayne in live action for the first time. James Gunn's 6-year plan means all of this. Every film, every show, every animated project is building toward one enormous culminating event. What that event is, we do not yet know. But the pieces are all being placed very deliberately. The new DC universe is not just another superhero franchise. It is a genuinely ambitious, interconnected world of stories, dark and light, cosmic and street-level, horrifying and joyful, all coexisting under one creative vision. And we are only at the very beginning. That is every officially confirmed upcoming DC project, broken down, explained, and placed in context. The DCU films: Supergirl on June 26, Lanterns in August, Clayface on October 23, all in 2026. Man of Tomorrow on July 9, 2027. The Elseworlds, the Batman Part II on October 1, 2027, and Batman and Robin in development. The TV shows: Lanterns on HBO, Jimmy Olsen series, Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, Blue Beetle. Animated, and My Adventures with Superman Season 3. The animation: Creature Commandos Season 2 in 2027, dynamic duo Robin film in development, and Batman, Knightfall this June. James Gunn's vision is ambitious, it is coherent, and it is moving forward with real momentum. If you found this breakdown useful, drop a like, leave a comment telling me which upcoming DC project you are most excited about, and subscribe to Mr. Movie Wonder so you never miss a single update. The DCU is just getting started, and we will be here for every single step of it. See you in the next one.